We've got a great episode for you today on the Biz Talk, coming straight from Las Vegas, Nevada at the Cosmoprof North America Beauty Show. Is fear of change hurting your business? Fear of change is something that all of us deal with because a lot of times change can suck. We're going to get into the details of this topic right now on the Biz Talk. I've got a coffee, Tracy doesn't.
I'd like to point out that Habib got in line, a long line, got himself a cup of coffee, and didn't get me one.
That is so good, I have to say, because it is 7:30 in the morning.
What were you looking at? What was this?
I thought I had a watch on, but we're at the Cosmoprof North America Beauty Show. It's early in the morning today. We are coming on to the Biz Talk. We've got a great topic today. Fear of change. Please excuse the noise if you hear it around. We're literally on the show floor right now. So, fear of change. This is something that every business person goes through and experiences in their entrepreneurial career. You as a nail technician, you're an entrepreneur. You've got your own business. You've got to deal with change. So let's talk about this topic. Change, first of all. Some people might argue that change is not so necessary. Like, I can keep doing what I'm doing. It's working. I'm successful at it. Like, why do I have to make any changes or jump at the opportunity to change and ruin that flow of my business? What are your thoughts for a salon or a nail technician, Trace? And let me point this out too. Sorry to interrupt. Actually, I'm not sorry to interrupt. In the nail industry, there's a lot of like micro changes, and then obviously there's macro changes. But micro changes being, there's trends. There's things you got to keep up with, right?
You got to go with flow.
You got to go with the flow. So how do you deal with that as a nail technician?
I think that it is difficult because a lot of times when you're talking about trends and stuff, your own style can come to play, and you don't want to do something like that. Like, that's happened to me. Like, just styles like, no, I ain't doing that for you, you know.
So but, like you see a trend, it's hot in the market, and you're like, I don't like it, so I'm not doing it.
I can't do that.
You can't do it technically, or just saying like, I can't do it because I don't like it.
I don't like it.
Interesting.
Yeah, but I think there has been certain trends that I just refuse to do. Like, as a salon person, but I had a clientele, right?
Okay.
So I think the difference is if I didn't have a clientele and I'm needing to fill those spots, I probably would have jumped on the trend.
Okay, but
it's just a trend. It was just horrible. I couldn't do it.
Okay, so let's talk about the majority of trends that come through then. Okay, because maybe you're not going to do every single one, and if you
the bubble.
The bubble nail
or whatever it was. You know, back in the day, it was the duck bills. I just
you couldn't do it. Okay, so that's fine. Like, you just couldn't do that. But let's talk about the majority of trends that come through. Your clients are coming to you. They see it. It's out there. It's part of, your nails are part of the fashion world.
Yep.
So they're coming to you. What do? I mean, you have to incorporate it somehow.
Absolutely.
Right?
I mean, there's been, when it comes to trends, right now, like, jelly nails are very hot. And we even asked this question on Instagram the other day, like, what do you think of the trend?
Right.
And there were some people that had strong feelings about it. It's just a translucent nail.
Right.
And if a customer is coming to you and they want a translucent nail, especially something so simple to do, hook them up.
Give them the damn jelly. All right?
Hook them up. So there's stuff like that would come down the pipeline. Maybe it's French.
Yeah.
Because French is starting to rotate
it's
back
starting
around.
to come back. We're seeing that.
Back in the day, that was a big thing. It's like, oh, Lord, if I have to do another French,
right?
I just can't do it. But I did, because it's money. It's what my client wanted.
Right.
And there's that point, right? Like the duck bills, the wide nails.
Right.
That was a style they were going to come in every time and want that.
Right.
Right. And it's not something I wanted to do or was comfortable with doing. I had a full clientele, but these many trends, right? Like surface nails.
Right.
It's over the style of nail I like already. Yeah, you got to do some things that you don't necessarily care for.
Yeah, I like, as part of like beauty, trends are they just go hand in hand, right? Like,
and you don't always. Sometimes you won't like it initially. And
yeah.
then you come around to it. And
Yeah.
you're like, oh, it's a cool trend. I'm going to do it on myself too. But you have to be able to give that customer, for the most part, what
right.
they want.
It's kind of like if you were like a fashion, like a clothing brand,
right?
And you didn't keep up with trends, and you're like, no, we're only doing this style of clothing for the rest of our business.
Hammer pants. That's it.
That's it. You can't.
You would have
can't
one
do
customer.
that. You can't do that, right?
Right.
Like, nails is the same thing. You have to look at it in the same way. There is that constant change of
it's part
trends.
of fashion. It really is.
It is part of fashion, and you have to keep up to a certain degree. Maybe not every single one, but to be able to offer your clients trends that are coming through, I think it's a huge advantage. If you stayed on top of the trends, let's say your clients came in, and before the trends hit, you start sort of bringing them to your clients, that's going to be a huge plus, because now your customer is going to be like, wow, my nail tech actually...
She's on it.
She's on it. She brings me the trends before they hit the market, like huge.
You're walking around with it before everybody else.
Yeah, that's a really cool thing.
Well, I think sometimes we can feel like, well, I have my clientele and they're not going anywhere.
Right.
But if you repeatedly are behind the times of something, nails,
it's not good.
It's not good.
Yeah. I mean, so that's on a micro level, right? What about on a larger scale? Like, when you've got to change your business on a much larger scale, like which we're kind of seeing right now in the marketplace, right?
Yeah.
Right now, what we're seeing in the nail industry is a lot of change. There's a lot of change in distribution. There's a lot of change in marketing. There's a lot of change in sales. Like, it's completely changing before our eyes, young nails, the way we see it. I never wanted to change. Like, we had our business to a point where things were very stable, and very comfortable. And then me, myself, I started to see how communication was changing in the nail business, really in the world, how we as a company talk to our audience, how we talk to our customers has completely changed 180 degrees.
Yeah.
It's not even close to the same. And when we first started to do that change, it was incredibly difficult.
Right.
I mean, a certain degree, a lot of people, even within our own organization, were like, what in the hell is going on? Habib has lost his freaking marbles.
Oh, we see that anyway. But it's true because, well, first of all, change is very hard. You get comfortable in what you know. And I think that's what we're seeing really in these, different shows and different things that we're going to and people that we're talking to is they're scared.
Yeah.
And some of them haven't even realized there's a change that's necessary.
Right.
Right? So I think that can happen even to a salon owner or a nail technician. I think there's fear.
Yeah.
There's just a fear of like, and that's what we're seeing is you start getting stubborn. You're like, this worked. I know it works.
Right.
Well, it did work.
Yeah, it did
and
work.
it was successful.
Right.
But are you really gonna put your phone number in a phone book, kind of thing, and have a huge ad that costs you $2,000 anymore? No, things are different, and I think you have to be willing to go with that or fall behind.
As a salon, the way you communicate with your customers, whether you want to believe it or not, it has changed. The way that you are going to build your clientele, it's changed. A lot of it is done through social interaction, social media specifically. The way that you show your work, that has changed. Yep. None of that's the same. If you're not moving with any of that, just stop for a second and think about this. How do you get your information? How do you seek out new businesses? How do you consume media? How much television are you watching? Are you a member of Netflix? How much of that are you watching versus traditional television? These are changes that we as consumers have gone through and not even realized the change. Like, if I think about it, without even trying, like 6-7 years ago, I was watching television, cable, right? Today, I watch zero. I'll watch Netflix, I don't watch a lot of Netflix anymore, but if I'm gonna watch or consume something, it would be on Netflix or on YouTube on my frickin' phone.
You stream it.
Yeah, that's how I consume. So you have to think about that. And how are people seeking you out as a salon, as a nail technician? What are they looking for? How are they going to get information? Are they going to go to the phone book and look you up? No. They're going to drive around and just look for salons and walk into every single one and look at your work and meet you that way?
Your portfolio.
No. Right. Not going to happen. Everything has changed. You have to change as a business.
What about the ones who are out there that have the successful business, and it's like they wait until like your business is successful,
right?
But you're making that change now,
right?
Why?
Right, because I know if we wait any longer, it's gonna be too late, and if we're late to the game, is going to be a huge penalty.
Right.
Like, if there are other salons, I'm thinking in terms of me being a salon owner right now, right? Like, if I'm a salon and I haven't jumped on social and I haven't jumped on posting my work and I haven't jumped on communicating and trying to learn and understand how that platform works, there are other salons doing it right now successfully. They're way ahead of you. And so if I'm in your position, I'm thinking, if I don't start now, I'm really going to be in trouble in 2 years, 3 years. You're going to have major problems and issues. It's going to be so hard to compete.
Yeah, I think we kind of look at our clientele and go, oh, well, but I have a set clientele.
Right.
People move.
They all the time.
Move on. I mean, clients sometimes get bored. They move on and they start seeing that other salon that's doing all that advertising, and seeing them on social, and it's, they've made changes not only to their business model, but actually to their decorations, keeping up with those trends, keeping, just something. People are going to get curious,
right?
And and eventually you're going to have to replace clients, for one reason or the other. How are you going to do that?
Yeah, I mean, just think about this. When people are moving into your town, how are they finding the nearest nail technician? What are they doing? They're going onto social media on Instagram and looking geographically, nails in the area. That's probably how they're finding their information.
It's how I found my hairdresser when I moved. It's
right.
My esthetician, my eyelash person. It's all on social.
Please do not steer clear of change. You can be afraid of it, but you got to walk right into that fear, and you have to walk right into that change, and then you have to embrace it, and then you have to execute on it. If you're feeling that fear, go and start executing against it. You know what I mean? On that fear, okay, I don't like change. Start changing. Just start executing on it. Feel it. It's actually not as bad as the fear itself. So I really believe that you've got to take action, and that's the only thing that cures it. It will keep your business alive, and not only alive, way ahead of the curve.
And exciting.
And exciting, exactly, because then it becomes, there's a level of newness. You're learning new stuff. It does become exciting. So with that, thank you very much for joining us this week, and we will see you next week on the Biz Talk.